Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Comeback Conversations. Today's episode is probably going to be a bit of a tough one for some of you to hear. Not because it's negative, not because not because I'm here to make you feel bad about yourself, but because sometimes if you actually want something to change, you need somebody to be honest with you. And today I want to talk about doing everything alone, trying to lose weight alone, trying to get confidence back alone, trying to get fit again alone, trying to stop the evening snacking alone, trying to find yourself again after years of being a mum, partner, worker, organizer, taxi driver, problem solver, and somebody that everybody else relies on. Because I speak to so many mums over 40 who tell me the same thing. I know what I need to do. I just need to get my head back into it. I just need to, well, I'll start again Monday. I should be able to do this with myself. Um, and I'm going to be honest with you, maybe that mindset is exactly what has kept you stuck. Because if doing it alone was going to work, wouldn't it have worked by now? If another Monday restart was the answer, wouldn't you already be where you want to be? If telling yourself to have more willpower was enough, you already feel confident in your clothes again? That might sound a bit brutal, but I say it because I care and because I see women wasting years for waiting for themselves to actually feel different, magically feel different, more motivated and more disciplined. When actually what they need is not another promise to themselves. They need support, they need structure, they need accountability, and they need people in an environment around them who understand exactly what they're going through and who support their journey. So today we're going to talk about why doing this alone is so difficult, what I'm seeing happen with the women inside my own coaching community, and why sometimes the strongest thing you can do is stop pretending you should be able to carry everything by yourself. There's a strange pressure that so many women carry, especially mums. You've spent so many years looking after everybody else. You've kept the family going. You've raised children. You've managed you've managed homes, jobs, relationships, schedules, appointments, food shops, school runs, family problems, and everybody else's emotions. You're probably the person who people come to when they need help. So when it comes to your own health, your own confidence, your own weight, you tell yourself, I should be able to sort this out myself. But here's the thing, being strong doesn't mean doing everything alone. And just because you've managed to carry everybody else for years doesn't mean you have to carry this as well without any support. In fact, I think one of the reasons so many women end this is one of the reasons that so many women end up stuck. You've spent so long putting yourself at the bottom of the list. When you finally try to make a change, you're exhausted before you've even started. You're trying to make healthier meals while still feeding everybody else. You're trying to exercise when you already feel tired. You're trying to stop snacking at night when food might be the only little comfort or reward that you get after a long day. You're trying to feel confident in yourself again while your own needs have been ignored for years. And then when it gets difficult, you blame yourself. You tell yourself you're lazy, you tell yourself you're unmotivated, you tell yourself you failed again. But maybe you've not failed. Maybe you've just been trying to do something hard in complete isolation with no proper plan and nobody actually in your corner, no accountability. There is a big difference. I want you to think honestly about the last few years. How many times you said you were going to get back on track? How many Mondays have started with good intentions? How many times you've bought healthy food, gone on a few walks, maybe done a couple of workouts and thought, this time I'm going to do it properly. And then life gets busy. You have a stressful week. Your sleep is poor. The weekend comes around. You go out for food, you miss a workout, you have a few snacks, and then you just feel like you've totally ruined it. And suddenly you're back to where you started, promising yourself you'll try again next week. Now, this is where I'm going to be a little bit harsh. At some point, you have to stop being surprised that the same approach keeps giving you the same result. You cannot keep disappearing for 3 months, coming back for one good week and giving up again, and then acting as though you just need to find the perfect time to start. There is no perfect time. There is no magical Monday where you wake up with unlimited motivation, no stress, no social plans, no cravings, and nothing else to do. That's just not real life. Real change happens in the messiest weeks, the tired weeks, the weeks where you would normally give up, the weeks where somebody needs to say, come on, you've had one difficult day, not destroyed the whole plan. And that is the bit that is so hard to do alone. Because when it is just you inside your own head, it's very easy to turn a setback into a full stop. One takeaway becomes, I've ruined the week. One missed workout becomes I've fallen off again. One bad photo becomes what's the point? But when you're surrounded by the right people, a wobble does not become the end of the road. Becomes something you deal with, you talk about, you learn from, and then move on. That's the key difference. The women I speak to are not women who don't care. Usually they care a lot. They're fed up of not feeling like themselves. They're fed up of looking in the wardrobe and picking clothes based on what hides them rather than what they actually want to wear. They're fed up of avoiding photographs. They're fed up of seeing everybody else seemingly getting on with life as they feel as though they've lost a part of themselves somewhere along the way. A lot of them are not even asking to be a completely different person. They just want to feel like them again. They want more energy. They want to feel more confident. They want to feel comfortable going out. They want to stop constantly thinking about their weight. They want to feel proud of themselves. And often, by the time they reach out, they've already been battling with it alone for years, not weeks, years. Years of thinking they'll get round to it eventually. Years of putting everyone else first. Years of saying, once things calm down, I'll focus on me. But life does not normally just calm down and hand you a perfect little window to rebuild your confidence. At some point, you have to decide enough is enough, and you know, just and start making that time for yourself. And sometimes you need people around you who will remind you of that when you forget. And one of the things I'm genuinely most proud of with the women I coach is not just the food plans or the workouts, it's the group of people that have been built around it. Because it's not full of perfect people posting perfect days. It's full of normal women with normal lives who are trying to move in the same direction. Women checking in with their daily goals, women sharing the walk they've done even though they didn't really feel like it, women getting their workout finished at home when previously they would have taught themselves out a bit, women making better choices with food, not because they're starving themselves, but because they finally have some structure. Women celebrating little wins that might not seem massive to anybody else, but are absolutely massive to them. Things like feeling more in control around food, getting getting a pair of jeans that they have avoided for months, getting through the weekend without throwing everything away, seeing progress in their photos, feeling proud after completing a workout, finding themselves naturally becoming more active, or simply having a difficult day, admitting it, and then still turning up tomorrow. This is what progress actually looks like. It's not one huge overnight transformation. It's a group of women slowly proving to themselves that they can do hard things again. And the best bit is they support each other. There's no nastiness. There's no judgment. There's no punishment. There's there's no upmanship. There's no pretending that everything is perfect. It's just a really good group of women wanting each other to win, and I genuinely think that matters more than people realize. When you're the only person in your household trying to eat differently, move more, or lose weight, it can feel lonely. You might have people around you who love you but don't necessarily understand the struggle. They do not understand why putting certain clothes on can ruin your confidence. They do not understand why another failed attempt feels so heavy. They do not understand how much of your self belief you have lost along the way. But when you're surrounded by women in a similar stage of life, going through similar things, suddenly you don't feel like you're the only one. And that alone can change everything. And here I want to make something really clear. The women doing well inside my coaching are not doing well because they have easier lives than you. Trust me, they don't. They're not doing well because they have unlimited free time, because again, they definitely don't. They're not all waking up every morning absolutely buzzing to work out and eat perfectly. Nobody is. They have families, they have jobs, they have stressful days, they have weekends away, they have hormones, poor sleep, cravings, bad moods. They have moments where they can't be bothered. The difference is not that they are superhuman. The difference is that they are not trying to deal with any of it by themselves anymore. They have a plan to follow. They have somebody checking in on them. They have a group where they can be honest. They have other women showing them that a bad day does not mean that the week is ruined. They have a reason to keep showing up even when motivation drops. And this is something I say all the time. Motivation is lovely when it's there, but motivation is not what gets you results. Structure gets you results. Accountability gets you results. Repeatedly doing the simple things, especially on days where you'd rather not, gets you results. And this is much easier to do when you're not alone. Now, I want to speak directly to the woman listening who keeps saying, I'll sort myself out. Maybe you will, but how long are you prepared to wait? Another 3 months, another summer, another year, another birthday where you tell yourself, this year I'm going to get my confidence back. Another holiday where you spend more time worrying about what you look like than enjoying yourself. Another wardrobe full of clothes you don't feel comfortable wearing. Another family photo that you either avoid or secretly hate seeing yourself in. I'm not saying that to make you feel awful. I'm saying it because your life is happening now. Not once you've lost the weight, not once you feel more confident, not once the children need you less, not once work is calmer, not once everything else is sorted. Now. And there comes a point where you have to be really honest with yourself and say, doing what I've always done is genuinely not working. This is not weakness. This is the moment that things then finally begin to change because there's no prize at the end of struggling alone the longest. Nobody's going to hand you a medal because you spent another 5 years unhappy and never asked for support. You don't have to prove you're strong by staying stuck. Sometimes the strongest decision you can make is admitting, I need help with this. I need structure. I need people around me. I need to stop messing about and actually do something different. And yeah, of course, that decision can be uncomfortable, but also staying exactly where you are is uncomfortable. And if I'm being honest, staying where you are becomes more painful the longer it goes on. I think one of the biggest things women underestimate is the power of being around people who are like heading in the same direction as them. Think about it. If you're trying to make change by yourself, every day you're relying entirely on your own mood and your own motivation. If you wake up tired, is it easy to skip the walk? If you're stressed, is it easy to eat whatever's nearest? If you miss one workout, is it easy to ignore the next one too? If you go a little bit off plan at the weekend, is it easy to decide you'll start over Monday? But when you're in an environment where people are sharing wins, checking in, posting their goals, and showing up consistently, it changes your standards. You begin to think, right, she got a walk done today, so I can get mine done. I literally had an example of this last night in the group. Somebody went out and got their steps, and it spurred somebody else to go on and get out, and they both ended up hitting their step counts for the days and both seeing beautiful sunsets in the evening. You can start sharing your own wins. You start feeling proud of yourself. You start building momentum. And then suddenly the version of you who always gives up is no longer the version of you that feels normal. That is why I care so much about the community side of coaching. Because a meal plan on a piece of paper is helpful, yes. A workout plan in an app is helpful, yes. But what really changes someone is when they start feeling part of something again. When they know people are rooting for them. When they know somebody notices whether they show up. When they're surrounded by women who understand and who want the same sort of change for themselves. That is powerful. Especially for women who have spent their adult lives giving to everybody else and maybe feeling a little bit invisible themselves. Inside a supportive group, you're seen again. Your progress matters. Your wins matter. Your struggles matter. And you're not expected to pretend that every day is perfect. You're just expected to keep coming back and moving forward. Another thing I hear a lot is, I just need to get myself in a better place first, or I'll start once I've lost a little bit of weight, or I'll join when I feel more confident. And I understand why people say that. Um, but again, I need to be honest. That is like saying you'll only go to swimming lessons once you already know how to swim. You don't need to be ready before you get support. The support is there to help you become ready. You don't need to already be confident. You build confidence through keeping those promises to yourself. You do not need to already be fit. You become fitter by starting where you are. You do not need to already have control around food. You learn how to build that structure over time. And you definitely do not need to have everything together because nobody does. The women inside my group did not all start feeling amazing and totally confident. They started because something needed to change. They started because they were tired of feeling stuck. They started because they wanted more for themselves. And now every week they are building something, not just physically, but mentally as well. They're rebuilding self-belief. Rebuilding standards. They're rebuilding the idea that their own health and happiness matter. And that is massive. Support does not mean somebody shouting at you every day. It does not mean being punished for having a meal out. It does not mean your whole life suddenly becomes chicken, broccoli, and endless workouts. That's not what I want for the women that I work with. Real support is having a realistic plan that fits your life. It is knowing what to focus on instead of trying every diet under the sun. It's having workouts you can actually complete, whether that is at home or in the gym. It's having goals each day that make you feel accomplished rather than overwhelmed. It it's being able to message when things are going wrong instead of hiding until you feel embarrassed enough to restart again. It's learning how to handle the weekends, holidays, nights out, and busy periods without falling into that all or nothing mentality. It's it's being reminded that progress is still progress, even when life is not perfect. And it's knowing somebody genuinely wants you to succeed. That is what the women inside my coaching get. And that is why so many of them are finally moving in the right direction. Not because they suddenly became different people overnight, because they're no longer relying on hope. They have structure, they have accountability, they have support, and that they have each other. So to the mum listening who feels as though she lost herself a bit, I want to say this: you are not too old, you have not left it too late. You are not destined to spend the next 10 years avoiding mirrors, covering up, feeling exhausted, and promising yourself that one day you will finally sort it out. But you do have to stop waiting for change to happen by accident. You have to stop convincing yourself that next Monday will be different if you're not willing to do anything differently. And you have to stop believing that needing support means you've failed. It does not. You've probably been strong for everyone else for years. You've probably held things together more times than anybody even realizes. But this is your health, your confidence, your energy, your life, and you're allowed to have help with it. In fact, I would urge that you deserve to have help with it. You deserve people around you who celebrate your wins. You deserve a plan designed around you. You deserve accountability that keeps you moving when your old habits try to pull you back. You deserve to feel proud of yourself again. And you deserve to know what it feels like to just stop getting through the days and actually start feeling like yourself again. So here's what I want you to do. If this episode has hit a nerve, do not just listen to it, agree with it, and then just carry on as you have before, because that's what people do all the time. They hear something that speaks directly to them, they feel motivated for 10 minutes, they tell themselves they need to change, and then they do nothing. 3 months later, you're still in the same place. Do not let that be you. If you're a mum over 40 and you're ready to stop trying to battle through this alone, I would love to help you. Whether you're looking to lose weight, regain your confidence, improve your energy, build a routine, or simply feel like yourself again, there is a place for you. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be the fittest person in the room. You do not need to know exactly what you want or what you are doing. You just need to be willing to start. Because the women inside my community are proof that once you stop doing everything alone, things can then start to feel very different. You have people behind you, you have structure, you have somebody holding you accountable, you have women celebrating with you, and for the first time in a long time, you can actually start putting yourself back on the list. So if you're ready, drop me a message with the word comeback or use the link attached to this episode to find out how you can get involved. Do not wait another year to feel like yourself again. Do not keep telling yourself you will sort it one day. One day only becomes real when you actually decide to start. Thank you so much for listening to today. I can't even speak today. To today's episode of the Comeback Conversations, and to every woman inside my coaching community already showing up, sharing wins, supporting each other, and working on becoming stronger, healthier, and more confident versions of themselves. And I'm genuinely proud of you all. You are creating something really special, and this is just the start. And to any woman listening who has been doing this alone for too long, maybe this is your sign to stop struggling quietly. Maybe this is the moment you finally let somebody help you. And maybe your comeback starts now. I'll speak to you in the next episode.